What's going on, everybody? Chris Knight here from the At Least I'm Average vlog, and this is an exclusive for Sobermode.com. So this is a story that I have yet to share because really I wasn't ready to. You know, I really haven't felt up until now that I was prepared to tell this story. Now, I've lost a lot in my addiction, but nothing that affected me the way this did. The loss that I took was my daughter's mother. Now, this is a woman that meant more to me than anything on the face of the earth. Every night before we went to bed and every morning that we woke up, I would tell her that I loved her more than anything in this entire world, and I meant it every time I said it. So we lost her 3 months after having my daughter, who is 2 now, and 3 days after my birthday, which makes next month one of the most bittersweet months of my life. The night prior to the tragedy, we were arguing. We were arguing about something so stupid that I can't even remember what it is as I'm telling this story to you. For the duration of our relationship, every time we'd argue, she would routinely go and sleep in another room, and I would always go and get her no matter what. No matter what, I would go and get her and tell her to bring herself to bed. This particular night, I let anger, I let pride just engulf me, take me over. I went down, she slept in the game room. I went down, I knocked on the door, she didn't respond. So with daughter in hand, I told her I loved her and good night. And to be honest with you, I have no idea if she ever even heard me say those words. I have no clue. Next day rolls around. I'm upstairs, I'm getting myself and my daughter together. Her kids, she had 4 other children in the household at the time. They come up and they say that they're trying to talk to mommy. Mommy's not responding. So I'm thinking that maybe she's sleeping, she's tired, and she's ignoring them. That seems possible. It never crossed my mind that maybe she passed away. So I go downstairs to the game room. The door was already open. I go through the door and I kind of tap her on the feet with my feet. And I'm telling her to get up, and I'm telling her the kids are trying to get her up, and she's not responding. So again, I think she's still mad. You know, I'm coming up with ways in my head to how I can make her smile and, you know, really end this entire argument. So I go to the left side of her and I bend down. My plan was to give her a kiss on the cheek to wake her up. So I looked at her and I kind of sensed something wasn't right, but I wasn't, you know, it's just one of those things you don't want to believe. So I went to go brush her hair back to give her that kiss. And when my fingers touched her skin, she was ice cold. Her skin felt rubbery to a certain extent. Her hair didn't feel natural. So I went to roll her over, and it didn't look like her at all. You know, it looked like it didn't look like her. You know, I'll never forget that. I'll never get that out of my head ever, that image. But it didn't look like her. And I kind of buckled. My knees gave out. So next thing I know, I was kind of laying next to her. I remember the kids were there, so I had to regain a little bit of composure. I got up, I shut the door, and I went on to call her sister. I managed to get a hold of her niece, and, you know, the conversation ensued, and you know, I kind of said the only words that I could was that she's dead. I'm not going to get into how she passed away because it's not relevant to the story necessarily, and it's not relevant to the point I'm about to make now. This was a woman, again, that I loved more than anything in this world. The household was filled with love was filled with life, stories, memories, a family, and like that, it all disappeared. It went from love, a family household, to a trap house before I knew it. Following her passing, I had two options. I can either tailspin completely out of control, or I can realize that I am now a single father and I can get it together. I opted to spiral out of control. Call me whatever you want to. But at that time, I was nowhere near in a clear mind. I was still dealing with my addiction. My problem-solving skills and my ability to think critically were completely out the window. I spent the following week or 2 weeks stuck in bed, not eating, not talking to anybody, just randomly yelling and screaming to nothing, saying, for our entire relationship, you always tried to, prove to me that ghosts were real. Like, here's your chance. I'm making deals with God. Give her to me for 10 seconds, 15, 30 seconds. I'll do whatever you want. I'm stuck in bed screaming and crying and just losing it. Keeping Up with the Kardashians was on for like 3 days, and the remote was right by my feet in the bed, and I didn't even have the energy to reach down and grab that remote. That's how hopeless this was. That's how helpless I felt. I thought it was over. I felt like my heart had been ripped out and completely destroyed. And I used to look at people that lost a loved one, and I used to think, the way they reacted with the yelling and the crying, I used to think they were being dramatic to a certain extent, and nothing in life can really hurt that bad. I mean, being that I lost my mother, I thought that I knew everything about how to handle tragedy, and I didn't. I didn't know anything. But I'd never wish that feeling on anybody, not even an enemy, nobody. I never wish that on anybody, and I never wish to feel that again. And more than all that, I never wish that on any of you. Not you, not your loved ones, no one you care about. I would never. That is just the most helpless, saddest, end of the road, just rock bottom feeling you can ever feel. But I always tell people, you can't do anything about the past, but learn from it and move forward. And as hard as it is, that's the only thing that I've learned to do from this. I can never forget it. But what do I do now? What do I do now? Now that I've managed to conquer my addictions, now that I managed to get past it, now that I managed to get into a place that I feel like she would be proud of me. What do I do with that little bit of information now, that life lesson I've learned? What do I do with it? I have to share it. But rather than give this heartfelt, smiley-faced, hug yourself type of message, I'd rather take this moment to be blunt. If you are in active addiction right now and you are still currently using, or if you are thinking about relapsing and going back to use, I want to tell you something now from the bottom of my heart, and I truly mean it. You're going to die. You're going to die. It's just a matter of when. It's that simple. You're going to die. Now, you may be one of those people that says, well, we all have to die, Chris. We all have to die. Everyone dies someday, right? But what's the legacy you leave behind? Who do you care about? If not for you at the end of the day, if you feel your life has no value, which you're wrong, but if that's how you feel, everybody in this world loves somebody. Take a look into your children's eyes. Take a look into your parents' eyes. Take a look into your girlfriend, your wife, your significant other. Take a look at the people that care about you. Look in their eyes. Because when you die, you'll be dead. That's a blatant, obvious fact, right? So it's not going to affect you. It's not going to hurt you one way or the other because you'll be dead. No, the people that hurt, the people that are left with the pain are your loved ones. That's who's stuck with it. How do you feel your children are going to adjust knowing their parents gone? How do you feel about that? Can you imagine? Can you imagine somebody you love sitting in the middle of a room crying their fucking eyes out? Hopeless, helpless, won't listen to any answers, don't think anybody is really any answer is relevant to them because the person that's given it hasn't been through it. How do you think they feel? I think that's something that I don't know that's been said often but gets overlooked. It's not you that hurts once you're gone. It's your loved ones. The people that you purport to love. That's who gets left with the fucking pain, not you. This was a woman that I loved more than anything in this entire world. And I'm not telling you how she passed away, because I don't feel it's relevant. Because the message remains the same. Regardless of how she passed away, the message remains the same. I'm just tying it into addiction. It's your loved ones that get left with it, not you. And everybody that's in active addiction and everybody in recovery all shares the same regret. How selfish they felt. How self-centered they were. Fix it. Fix it. Fix it before you don't have the chance to. Fix it before you run out of time. There are no casual drug users. You understand that? Fix it before you can't. You cannot afford those repercussions. And if you feel you can and you don't care which way life goes, your loved ones can't. Keep that shit in mind the next time you pick up that drug to use. Keep that in mind. Because there's not a fucking day that goes by that I don't look into my fucking daughter's eyes and just know that I could never do that to her. I could never do that to her. And I never fucking will. They say all the time, never say never. I'm fucking saying never. I'm saying never. I could never do that to my daughter. Never. And you, if it's someone you truly love, shouldn't have the ability to do that either. So I want you to keep that shit in mind next time you decide to go use. I'm Chris Knight from the At Least I'm Average vlog, and I'm out.